right? The next few slides, we're going to look at relationship on the winding road of life, relationship on the spectrum of life, the spectrum of life, the continuum of life. We start dependent, we come out dependent, 100% dependent on other people, but we'll grow away from that dependency and we'll grow and gains it, we reduce our dependency and we gain independency. So we have both in different percentages. We grow doing that through our young life into a place what we now call adolescence, right? Going into our teens life, right? Where we begin to develop features that separate us. We develop we go into puberty, where demarcations begin to grow into us. Demarcations as a boy, as different from a girl. Those features begin to come out when we're children below 10. The chests are the same. The women don't have breasts, so they're just the same. They don't even feel anything, When we're growing up, we used to relate talking about people who run out of the toilet with worms. Those were the days where the worm expellant didn't dissolve the worm in people, but the people will be excreting and they're still warm halfway out of their bum bum, and they run out of a toilet, and we used to pull that out for each other, and we didn't feel anything because at that point in time, our sexual mindset, our sexual sensitivity had not grown, right? A boy was like a girl was like a boy, but when you then go into adolescence period, the futures, the demarcations begin to come out, they begin to build, not by choice of man, but by ordination of creation. The hormones begin to flow into the bloodstream, and by basis of those hormones that are flowing to the bloodstream, features demarcating the sex gender of each person begin to come out. They come out. Sometimes as they come out, the individual might not fully understand or be in control of the things that are taking place, but changes are taking place in the person, and the extent to which the person can get ahead of that change, can be comfortable with that change, will determine, the foundation for that life, right? The foundation for that life. And this is where parents are supposed to help, at this point in time, or authority figures in the life of these children, begin to help them understand the changes that are taking place in their lives, as the girls begin to grow breast, as the boys begin to have hair in different parts of their body, as their voice begins to change, as they begin to seek independence, as against when they were dependent, as they begin to seek to be alone, to make their own choices, they begin to want to define their own identity. They need help because it's not something they decide to do, but it's something that is forced on them by reason of the hormones that are calling forth the adults in them. You're right, the hormones that are calling for the adults in them. So it's a challenge of life. It's a challenge of life. It's a challenge to rise up to the occasion of life, and they need help, right? They need help because they've not been there before, but we have been there, right? So we can talk to our young self in them, talk to our young self in them, and help them pass through this, with less stress than we did. We and not be deceived, because there are a lot of wolves around wanting to deceive them, trying to tell them that, oh, it's time to have sex, you must have sex, and they make a mess of their life because of deception of wolves, of hunters, of evil people, around. Don't let them be exposed to that. Be the good in the life of these children as they begin to go through this transition in their lives, right? And at different times, because of those transitions, right, their propensity to relationship differs, changes, their need for relationship changes, the type of relationship they seek for changes. Girls and then become more interested in the way boys look at them. They want to be special to some boy or to some boys. They want their female feature, to show, because they see themselves as a prize to be won, right? The men, also want to be able to, in a place, be a one that can win the girls. They're those forces, as it were, and they're natural, right? They're natural. But the thing about, irrespective of what phase of life we're going through, irrespective of what hormones are flowing through us, we are always responsible. We'll never have an excuse to say it's because of the hormones that are in my body. That's the reason why I did that. No, no, no. We're not animals. We're not mere animals, right? We are higher animals. We're higher animals. But mere animals can give that and say, because of instinct, I did this. When it's time to migrate, migrating animals will migrate, irrespective of the danger they have to pass through. They will migrate. They don't have a choice. They don't have the ability to make judgment. They don't have the ability to make a decision. But we as human beings, we do have the ability to make decisions. Therefore, we will be judged. Animals will not be judged. We will be judged because we have the ability, we have the strength, we have the ability to make decisions. We have a leverage, the ability to think, the ability to go into the future and see how what I'm doing now will look like, not just today, but in the future. And based on the picture that I see, I can make a decision. I don't have to do what my body's telling me to do. I don't have to do what my instincts are telling me to do. I don't have to do what feels easy. I can do what is hard because it is the right thing. I can decide. I can see what is right and what is wrong. And I can choose to go against the way I'm feeling, or I can choose to moderate my feelings to make sure that I do the right thing. Because whether I do the right or wrong, I will be judged. I will not say because I did what my body felt. But be doing what my body felt will not excuse me from judgment. I have the ability to choose that which is right, because my choosing what is right or wrong will be judged. I will bear the consequence of my decision. There will be no excuse when I am judged, when I'm getting the consequence of my decision, right?